So first and foremost, I'd like to thank today's sponsors because without their continued support, events like this would not be possible. So please take a moment to view the companies that are on the screen here. I'm not going to be able to list everybody here, and reach out to them if you or you know someone who might be looking for their services that they provide. I want to express a special thank you to our gold sponsors, Newmark, that are here, Brand Live for live streaming this event, and Elevate Capital, but that's sort of like recognizing myself, but but we love TiE. I love TiE. TiE is an amazing organization. For those of you who are not familiar with TiE, TiE was created back in the early 90s by South Asian entrepreneurs who were interested in giving back because we came to this country with nothing and made it. And we wanted to give back to the country that supported us. And we have expanded this organization to over 50 countries globally. We mentor, we connect, and support entrepreneurs, and we also invest in them. So I'm looking forward to honoring two very successful entrepreneurs, two very inspiring youth entrepreneurs, and a super angel who himself is a very successful entrepreneur who has gone through the struggle of building his company and then working with other entrepreneurs with their struggle to help them become successful. The Pitch Oregon winners, I'm sorry, I have to read a script, which is amazingly prepared by my partner in crime, Carrie Nooni. Please give her a big hand. She's the one who organized this. Stand up, Carrie. There she is in the back. And then most importantly, and in a very touching way, celebrating the life of a TiE Young Entrepreneur alumni with the introduction of the very first time, the Jack O'Halloran Youth Entrepreneur of the Year Award. I want to recognize my dear friends, Teresa O'Halloran and Chris Steger, for sponsoring this award. They came up with this idea one day at dinner, and I'm so thankful that they were the inspiration and catalyst for this award because it's well-deserved, and it's a great memory of Jack. So Teresa and Chris, please stand up and please give them a round of applause. Where are you? So we have a lot planned for this evening, and I'm so grateful that all you guys are here. In addition to the awards mentioned, we as the whole TiE Oregon community have made many accomplishments to celebrate this. It's been awe-inspiring to see the community come together during the past 2 years. So despite all the challenges of COVID and lockdowns and uncertainty, in the last 12 months, the TiE Oregon Angels, which is the angel investment arm of TiE, and these are TiE charter members that write personal checks into a number of startups in town. They invested almost $850,000 in 11 companies last year. So please give a shout out to the two folks who run this organization. I'm just the name chair, but Ben and Anna, please stand up, because without you, none of this would be possible. They've done an amazing job at managing the program and moving deserving entrepreneurs through the pipeline. And they talk to hundreds of entrepreneurs throughout the year, every day. So I really appreciate everything that Ben and Anna do. Secondly, at the end of 2021, we have completed our 17th cohort of the TiE Excel Entrepreneur Bootcamp, which has brought together over 200 participants, of which nearly 70% have been from women and minority entrepreneurs in the state of Oregon. This is a pride and joy program, and we have done some amazing work in supporting these entrepreneurs. Also really proud of the TiE Women and the TiE University programs that were launched in the last 2 years. And I want to really recognize Carrie Nooni. Where are you? Please stand up again. Carrie Nooni, Heather Samrin, David Smith, who have really spearheaded these programs and made them a big success. So please give it up for Carrie, Heather, and David. Please stand up. Thank you so much for everything that you've done to make these programs successful. I'm not done yet. So I'm going to talk about our crown jewel. And Nicole Maris and Shashi Jain, two amazing individuals, have done an amazing job to scale the TiE Young Entrepreneurs Program. This is a program that we work with high school students to really build the pipeline of young entrepreneurs that someday they will become people like many of us that are here in this room. And even during this time of uncertainty, we've been able to go into classrooms of high schools, of students of color, underprivileged students, kids who don't have mentors, and being able to support them and help them develop their ideas and giving them confidence to stand up and pitch. This is probably one of the best programs in the world. The TiE Young Entrepreneur Program is adopted by most of the chapters around the world. And I'm super proud that we had something to do with this over the last many years to make it successful, provide the content, develop the curriculum. So this program includes a summer camp and online curriculum now, which is getting adopted globally. So Nicole, Shashi, Trish, Jill, Leah, please stand and please give them a round of applause. They worked very hard to help these students, and you'll get to meet a couple of these students today. So now I want to recognize all the charter members, and the charter members in TiE are people who are successful entrepreneurs, business owners, attorneys, accountants, anybody interested in giving back. They volunteer their time to support these entrepreneurs. And they also write checks. So it's not just the time, it's their money. And these people are the backbone of this organization. They're the foundation of the organization of TiE. So all the charter members and angels, and also all the investors who invested, who are not even part of TiE, there's a number of people who invested in the fund that's supporting Pitch Oregon. Please stand up, and we want to recognize you for your contribution. All charter members, TiE angels, and investors, and I want to especially recognize and thank the Oregon Growth Board, which is part of Business Oregon. It's a state agency that invests in other funds. Oregon Growth Board this year invested $125,000 into the TAP fund. So I want to recognize Sarah Jones, who's the co-chair of Oregon Growth Board. Thank you so much for your support, Sarah. Please stand up. And absolutely, Treasurer Reed, you're part of the board, so please stand up, Treasurer Reed. Thank you. They both had a huge say in this investment, and we are so thankful because it's a huge catalyst for what we're about to announce today. We seriously couldn't do all that we do without the support of our amazing staff and charter members. And again, another recognition for Carrie Nooni, my partner in TRIBE, who as executive director has worked hard for the last 5 years, actually 7 years she's been with the organization, to really put TiE on the map around the state, and including organizing this incredible event. So another round of applause for Carrie, please. And this evening would not be complete without me welcoming two special guests, Sushila Jayapal, who is with us, Commissioner Jayapal of Multnomah County, And then the State of Oregon Treasurer and gubernatorial candidate Tobias Reed, I want to really thank you for your presence here. Commissioner Jayapal has served as the District 2 Multnomah County Commissioner since 2019. She was born in India and came to the United States when she was 16 years old. She was instrumental in the partnership we now have with Work Systems, Summer Works, and Rosemary Anderson High School, where these students that we mentor through the TiE Youth Program are paid to participate in that program in terms of internships. It was a great addition to the program, and it wouldn't have been possible without Commissioner Jayapal committing to the Oregon youth. So I'm very thankful, Commissioner Jayapal, for your support. I would love for you to come to this stage and say a few words.
Thank you so much, Nitin, and good evening, everybody. This is so amazing. I just have to say, it is my first in-person event in over 2 years. I'm a little uncomfortable. I'm a little nervous. I'm not used to this, but it is lovely to see people in real life and not on a box. Nitin, thank you so much for that gracious introduction. You know, you've kind of stolen my thunder because that was exactly what I wanted to talk about. We are here this evening to celebrate TiE, the TiE family. We're here to celebrate the power of entrepreneurship, you know, global economy, local economy, job creation, technology, all of these wonderful things. The part of TiE that speaks to me, that touches me in my heart, is the Young Entrepreneurs Program. Multnomah County is a social safety net provider, right? We serve people who are at the margins in many ways for many reasons. We serve youth. We serve youth who are experiencing poverty. We serve youth who are experiencing homelessness, who are exiting or about to enter the criminal legal system. We serve youth who face so many challenges. They are beautiful, they are brave, they are smart and funny and creative, but they need support. They need money. They're often the wage earners for their families. They need skills, including life skills sometimes. They need a steady, stable adult in their lives, mentorship. Most of all, I think what they need is the sense that they have a future, that there is a pathway for them. And programs like TiE Young Entrepreneurs Program gives them all of those things. So I heard, I think it was about 1.5 years ago, when I heard that TiE had a cohort at Rosemary Anderson High School. I represent North and Northeast Portland. Rosemary Anderson is based in North Portland. It's an alternative high school for young people who have faced barriers in traditional public high schools. And when I heard that TiE had a cohort there and that some of them were struggling to stay in the program because this is the middle of the pandemic, their families are struggling, they are struggling. When I heard that, it occurred to me that it was the perfect place for partnership between Multnomah County Work Systems, who's a great partner of ours, and TiE. So we were able to pay the students to stay in the program. And that made the difference. And the TiE team made the difference. When I heard from the young people the things that they had gained from this program, some of it was skill, some of it was, you know, learning how to market a product, but really what came through, I think, was their pride in being able to complete this program, being able to get a product out to market or put a business plan together. It was wind under their sails. Actually, somebody said that on a video that TiE did, and it just struck me as so appropriate. It was wind under their sails. So I really just want to thank TiE. I want to thank Nitin, the whole TiE family. By investing in these young people, you allow them to invest in themselves. For many other young people, these opportunities are available. For these young people, you provide it. So I thank you. I think you're making a world. Oh, I should mention, it was so successful that we are now going to do a second cohort this spring at Rosemary Anderson, and we are adding another cohort at another alternative high school. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Commissioner Jayapal. And now I want to introduce our next guest, Tobias Reed. He's currently the Oregon State Treasurer. He was a member of the Oregon House of Representatives, representing District 27 from 2007 to 2017, and is now a gubernatorial candidate. I'm so delighted to have him here. Treasurer Reed, please come up and say a few words.
Thank you, Nitin, and thanks everyone for letting me be with you tonight. I'm with the commissioner. I'm a little out of practice here in these live events, but I'm excited to be with all of you. And I feel kind of connected here, not only because I am proud to serve as state treasurer, but because I'm very proud to be married to Heidi Eggert, who runs the Technology Innovation Office at Nike. So this is really the person you want to talk to tonight. But I do want to offer a couple of observations about where we are right now and why I think the work that all of you are doing is so very important. These are pretty tough times that we all have, all the things that we are facing. Heidi and I are parents to 2 young kids, and so we spend a lot of time thinking about where we are with schools and how important that is to do everything we possibly can to keep students in schools safely. It's such a central part to our economy. When we're not able to do that, we watch kids falling behind, missing their friends, feeling depressed. Our kids got to go back to school. It was overwhelming transformation, watching the outlook and attitude change, and that is not unique in our house. So I want to make sure that that is central to the way we're thinking about things. And the other is the homelessness crisis that we're all facing. The commissioner talked about that. It's just not compassionate as we think about our neighbors continuing to live in unsafe conditions, surrounded by trash and needles and human waste. We've got to do a lot more to make sure that we're making short-term and long-term gains there. I mentioned both of these because I think they are central to the economy and our aspirations for how we want to grow this economy. We've seen all of those missed potentials right now, whether it's the businesses that are closing, whether it's missed growth opportunities, in the form of Intel and others. We've got to be a lot more intentional, I think, about recognizing that a growing economy benefits all of us. And we can do all these things. We have the potential to move Oregon towards clean energy. We're on that track, building an economy that doesn't leave anyone behind, and investing in the regional and local solutions that and specialties that exist all over Oregon. So I think these are all central parts of our agenda going forward. And that's what you're all doing here. That's why I'm so excited to be here, to get a little dose of inspiration and hope from the talent that you've assembled and that you are launching in very real ways. I was pleased to be part of I am pleased to be part of the Growth Board. And I don't think it'll be long before we see more of the companies that are launched here by the talented people that are assembled here in front of us, and we get to invest in them. So I'm sitting with Sayer at our table with the former chair of the Oregon Investment Council, Rakaya Adams. I know that all of us are going to be excited to see what's next here. So thanks for letting me join you. I'm excited to join in congratulating all the winners tonight. Thanks, Tim.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Treasurer. So I just want to do a toast. So let's raise our glass for a celebratory toast to the tremendous impact TiE is making here in Oregon and globally. Cheers. All right, okay, so now's the time to enjoy the dinner. So we'll take a little break, and then we'll get back after dinner to recognize our honorees tonight. Thank you.
Think I've got no reason to give myself a right to share what I believe in. They say I've got an issue, always on the edge, cause I don't trust people. I don't need your word on what I've been to. A freak it till I get forbidden if I make it mainstream. I don't need to wake up to your whisper, forget it with some liquor. Damned if I ever had dreams, but I got that wild fire. Hey. And I've got that wildfire, and I've got that wildfire. They're always on the mission to keep me on the wrong, can't share my own opinion. That sense of intuition that didn't get me far, but this time I chose to listen. Say I wouldn't live for, this is what I live for. Baby, don't you got my wrong phrase. Like shipments, and never been shyest. No wrenches ever faced. Got that wildfire, hey. And I've got that wildfire. See me under the light. And do it right. If you keep it real, keep it tight. In the club all night. See me under the light. And do it right. If you keep it real, keep it tight. In the club all night. Under the light. Under the light. So keep it real, keep it tight. You keep it tight.
Go crazy, go sucker. It's murder. Go crazy, go sucker. Go crazy, go sucker. It's murder. Go crazy, go sucker. Go crazy, go sucker. It's murder. Go crazy, go sucker. Crazy, go sucker.
Oh, baby, shake your body. Ooh, let's go. you cross me, my mind shuts down and I can't compete. My body's shaking and I'm scared to say just how I feel. Gotta turn on that noise so I can make the right choice. I need to know, 'cause if you won't listen, I might just have to go. To leave this out door for peace of mind. I'm not the one to scream and shout, and you don't wanna talk this out. And I don't wanna lose me, so I need to choose me. Choose me. So I need to choose me. Choose me. Really need to tell you the truth. Your talk is cheap, but your words cut deep. Don't you understand that you're bringing me down till I'm stuck on the ground? I need to turn on the noise so I can make the right choice. I need to know, can this be different? Or should I let this go? I want to leave you so behind and breathe. Close the door for peace of mind. 'Cause I'm not the one to scream and shout, and you don't wanna talk this out. And I don't wanna lose me, so I need to choose me. Choose me. So I need to choose me. Choose me. I really need to, and I don't wanna lose me, so I need to choose me.
I'm gonna search for you all night long, screaming, I wanna know where you've gone. Ain't gonna stop, 'cause the love's too strong. Where do you hide? Let me know where you've gone, where you gone. Let me know I've something different. Trying to change what I believe, yeah. I believe in something honest. With the love that's guaranteed, yeah. You've been trying to change where I belong, but you can't take me from my home. It's where I'm from. You've been trying to see a different side of me in the night, that I can find the light. Yeah. Well, take me to Broadway. I'll show you how to overstage. Take note of my desire. It will start, ignite the fire. Ignite the fire. Ignite the fire. Ignite the fire. Ignite the laying by the fire on a cold night. Wonder which direction you will choose, yeah. Wonder if we're even doing this right. Maybe I could mess around and lose you. Thinking back to all those times we walked home. The sun will rise before too long. Sitting at the top of every big tree. Wondering just what you think of me. Take me to Broadway. I'll show you how to overstage. Take note of my desire. It will start to ignite the fire. Ignite the fire. Ignite the fire. Ignite the fire.
I'm alone here on my island, floating in the sky. I'm high above the world I used to know. And I'm far from any danger, safe from any failure. Guarded, I found shelter in the storm. I'm hiding in the blue, safe between the clouds. In the blue, where I can't be found. Was a soldier in the legions, fought against the demons, fought against the monsters made of gold. But they stormed across Arcadia, following the nature, washed away the place I once called home. I'm hiding in the blue, safe between the clouds. In the blue, I can't be found. I'm hiding in the blue. I'm hiding in the blue. between the clouds in the blue. I can't be found. I'm hiding in the blue. I'm hiding in the blue. Hiding in the blue. The world's passing by and I lost sense of time. I've gone numb, I miss the days when we were making legends. The days come and go. I'll wait through sun and snow for you to come and take me from this place and bring me home in the blue. Safe between the clouds in the blue, where I can't be found. I'm hiding in the blue. Hiding in the blue. In the You're saying words I can't avoid. You put a stop to all the noise. Even in the dark, you can hear my scars. Ever since the start, you got me this far. And if I were alone, I wouldn't know. I don't know. You're saying words I can't avoid. You put a stop to all the noise. Even in the dark, you can hear my scars. Ever since the start, you got me this far. And if I were alone, I wouldn't know. I don't know. Oh, my daddy taught me well. There's some devils in heaven and some angels in hell. So promise me, child, when they pull you apart, you know which one you are. Yeah.
coast, flickers in the night. I know it's something that's worth it. I know how to fight. They never see the story, only room for right. It's just like you told me, oh, I still remember the night. Oh, my daddy taught me well, there's some devils in heaven and some angels in hell. So promise me, child, when they pull you apart, you'll know which one we are. Yeah, my daddy taught me well. If you can't do good, better do bad well.
Can I get your attention, please? I'm back. Well, I hope all of you enjoyed your dinner or still enjoying it and talking to all your table mates and other friends. I see a lot of people moving around. So we're going to start the next portion of our program. And so first up this evening is the Pitch Oregon winner announcements. So earlier, yes, yeah, great event. Earlier today, 13 companies pitched in 4 categories: the early stage, which is really very early stage, clean tech, life science, software, and tech-enabled services. So we're now ready to announce the winners. And by the way, these winners aren't getting a cash prize. This is actual investment. And this is the first time we've done this at Pitch Oregon, and I'm super proud. Again, thank you for all the folks that invested in Top Fund 2. So here to assist me are the 2 esteemed TiE Angel program managers and directors, Ben Nahir and Anna Hope, who will take this program on from here.
Thank you, Nitin. First off, thank you everybody for coming tonight. We really appreciate it. And I just want to give a special thanks to everybody who invested in the TAP Fund. Without you, we wouldn't have been able to make this happen. So I think a round of applause for everybody. So because of you, this year we're able to invest $325,000 into actually 5 different companies. And as Nitin mentioned, we had the early stage company as well as 3 growth categories. Those were clean tech, life sciences, and technology and tech-enabled services. So first off, Anna Hope, would you like to introduce the winner of the early stage category?
Thanks, Ben. Bon appetit to everybody. As we announce the winners, please come to the stage, accept your award, your check, and then we'll take a picture. So that will be the flow of the winners announcement. So for the early stage category, we had 3 finalists, Tonsil Tech, Instinct Environmental Company, and Market Games. Are you all ready to know who the winner is? The winner of the early stage category for Pitch Oregon 2021 is Instinct Environmental Company.
Great. Thank you, Anna Hope. And congratulations to Instinct Environmental. I have to say, I do not envy the early stage judges. It was a very, very tough decision. Everybody did a fantastic job with their pitches. So next up, we have clean tech. The finalists in the clean tech category were Comfort IQ, Leapfrog Design, and Pollen Systems. And the winner of the clean tech category for $100,000 is Comfort IQ. Unfortunately, Comfort IQ was not able to join us today, so they have presented an acceptance video. So let's go ahead and please play the video.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for the support. This was completely unexpected, and I'm super happy that all of you will get to join us on this journey as we build this incredible company, while also, doing some incredible stuff with the environment. I started this company about 5 years ago with very little knowledge on how we were going to solve the problem of HVAC energy waste in commercial buildings. But over the years, with a lot of studying, talking to a lot of people, a lot of hard work, getting some really great advice, we've created an awesome product. And I think our product is going to change the face of energy efficiency in commercial buildings. So with that, again, just truly appreciate the support. Please reach out to me for anything, especially if you have connections in the commercial real estate industry. Would love to meet those people, and expect to see updates about the company every other month or so. So thank you.
Congratulations once again to Comfort IQ. For the life science category, this is one category that had the most applicants. So we could not have 3 finalists like the other 3, the other 2. We actually had 4 finalists, and these were Biomatum, Rewire Neuro, I'm blanking, Patamic, and Novision Surgical. And the winner for this category is Biomatum.
Congratulations to Biomotum. And this brings us to our last category, the technology and tech-enabled services category. We had 3 finalists here: Coursera, Moonshadow Mobile, and Loopy Laundry. And the judges had a very hard time, as well as the diligence committees had a very hard time selecting a winner. So we actually have a winner and a runner-up. And so I would like to present our runner-up check of $25,000 to Moonshadow Mobile. Imar, you might want to check. Congratulations, Imar and Moonshadow Mobile. And the winner of the technology category with a $75,000 investment is Loopy Laundry. So I just want to say a final congratulations to all of the winners and all of the competitors in the competition. This has been a long process. We actually opened the applications back in September of last year. So all of the companies have gone through multiple rounds of diligence and have received some great feedback, done a great job through the entire process, and we're very proud of everybody who participated. So Nitin, I'll turn it over to you.
Evaluate, Ben.
How many did we have? It's about 100.
About 150 applicants.
About 150 applicants.
And it took a village to do that. So there were a number of TiE angels and investors that were involved in the selection process. So thank you all. All right, thanks, Ben and Anna. So what an exceptional way to kick off the night with over $300,000 worth of capital to deserving entrepreneurs. But we're actually not done yet. So there's a surprise. We have some more investments to announce. So if we could have Lupi Laundry, John Lee, could you come back to the stage? So, so the Pitch Oregon Selection Committee was so impressed, and as I mentioned earlier, you know, the TAP Fund had investors from TiE Angels from other chapters. So Lupi Laundry really stuck out for a number of them. And so I'm so pleased to announce that Lupi Laundry will be receiving an additional 122,000 from TiE Angels Southern California and TiE Silicon Valley. Kumar Sripadam, Chair of TiE Silicon Valley Angels and General Partner of Elevate, please come to the stage and hand the check. By the way, Kumar led the diligence and recommended this investment. All right, so wait, don't, just stay back. There's one more announcement. So in addition to the TiE Angels check, Elevate Capital is gonna put $250,000 into this company. So Kumar, general partner, hand the other check. You got a check. So folks, this is what I'm super proud of today, and we should all be proud of this. Pitch Oregon was the catalyst to provide nearly 700,000 to early stage entrepreneurs today. That's super exciting. So thank you again to the many investors from across TiE Oregon, the local Portland investor ecosystem, and TiE Global and Oregon Growth Board for supporting this endeavor. Thank you so much. So now I want to talk about the Jack O'Halloran Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. So it's my pleasure to welcome Nicole Maris, TiE Young Entrepreneur Program Manager, to the stage. Nicole will be introducing this new award this year. Nicole, please join us.
All right. Thank you so much, Nitin. As Nitin mentioned, I'm here to introduce the new award, the Jack O'Halloran Young Entrepreneur of the Year Award. This first video of the night will explain more about the award, the exceptional young entrepreneur the award is named after, and the program that is benefiting through a related fund. Please roll the film.
TiE Young Entrepreneurs, or TYE, is a global program that teaches high school students about invention, innovation, and entrepreneurship. We do this through a 7-month curriculum that helps students turn their own ideas into actual startups. And what's amazing about this is there's 2,000 students worldwide who experience it, and they come together, they build their startups, and then they compete for prizes at a global competition. So Jack O'Halloran was one of my students during TYE and during startup camp. You know, during that time, as the students are building their ideas, it's my role to help them understand the process and then mentor them through turning their ideas into opportunity. This scholarship is really an opportunity for others to realize their dreams. And what a gift that is.
My name is Nitin Rai. I'm president of TiE Oregon, and I was Jack's mentor. Jack was always interested in business, and one time I mentioned the TiE program and the startup camp that I was supporting, and he joined both of those programs and was very committed because he had lots of ideas. That was the special thing about him, was that he just had that gene, the entrepreneur gene inside of him, and I think he would have been really successful.
Jack was an incredibly creative, dynamic person. When he walked in the room, you knew it. And he was very much a family-oriented person. His brother and he were thick as thieves. And he just had a way about him. If you didn't know him, you were just instantly comfortable with him.
He was empathetic to a lot of issues. And I think even in his way of thinking about what he wanted to kind of put forward in terms of his ideas about work or, creating a business, everything was really around making something better, making whatever he might be pivoting from to something that just is meeting a broader need than what people perceive, whatever this is that's going on. I think if he was here today, I think he'd be trailblazing with something that we haven't even thought of, that is something that we should all get involved in.
Well, Jack had a lot of ideas. He was constantly talking about his ideas, and he would write them down, and he would keep them in a notebook. He would write them on his phone, his notes, and he would, constantly be coming up with new and different things. When I think it was 13 or 14, he decided to actually be a handyman. And I didn't know he knew how to do any of the skills that a handyman would do, but he went and got his own business cards. He made himself the CEO of Jack's Handyman service and learned all of his skills on YouTube. He said, "Mom, it doesn't take much to do some of these things. I can learn it." And so he started that company. He loved music. He was very much into music. And so he started working on some sort of app. He really never wanted to share what he was working on because he would always require people to have NDAs. I told him, you can tell me I'm your mom. I'm not going to say anything to anyone, but it was around having a commonality with music and having an app connect people through their music choices. So that was another one of them.
I think the music thing was the big one that I think took the most time and energy in terms of pulling the right people together to get this off the ground.
He went down to an attorney down in the big pink building, he told me, and he did not want me to go with him to the attorneys. When I heard he was going to the attorneys, I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder how much this is going to cost. And he said, "I have it covered, Mom, don't worry." Seldom did he ask me or Chris for money. And I think, taking his innate ability to think about ideas and develop them and talk to people, the TiE program enabled him to come up with processes and really hone in on some of those ideas. And how do you take an idea from, your brain to here it is now, not only on paper, but, developing the product. So he learned a lot of that from TiE. And so that really catapulted him into a different level of success.
I'm really thankful to Jack's family for sponsoring this scholarship. It's very touching, it's very meaningful. It's going to be great for the students who get it, because they're all very deserving students. And it's going to make Jack's memory live forever.
This is the inaugural year for the Jack O'Halloran Youth Entrepreneurship Award. And we're so pleased to announce that this year's award is going to Ashley Lynn and Serendipity Lang.
Serendipity, I just wanted to say how proud I am of what you have already accomplished in your life, and just what you are constantly bringing to your present and the future. So It was such a cool honor to work with you at TiE, and I know that you're going to continue to inspire for many, many years. So go get it, girl.
So Ashley, to say that I'm proud of you would be a gross understatement. In the 4 years that I've known you, you've gone from entrepreneur to student leader to author and many things in between. I'm so excited to see what life will bring you and I hope this award will help you along the way.
And here with us tonight to help us honor Ashley and Serendipity, please help me welcome Jack's parents, Teresa O'Halloran and Chris Ryder, to the stage.
We are so grateful to TiE and Nitin, Sashi, Nicole, and Carrie for the opportunity to memorialize Jack in this way, in his spirit of entrepreneurship and this way, and allow other young inventors and aspiring entrepreneurs the ability to learn and grow from this fantastic program. I too have not been out in public like this in a long time, so I'm a little nervous, not to mention it's difficult to get up here when your son is being memorialized, but I'm so grateful for this opportunity. Jack's participation in TiE gave him not only an education, the tools to succeed, but allowed him to collaborate and learn critical life skills from these amazing adult mentors. He also met other like-minded young people with similar goals and visions that became friends and often networked with. Now more than ever, young people need to be able to expand their circles of influence and positive influence and have ways to be part of something much bigger than just themselves. TiE inspired Jack to develop his plans for the future. And although sadly he's not here to say it, TiE was a very important part of his growth and transition into young adulthood. TiE provided lessons not taught in his high school classroom. Every kid should have an opportunity to experience this and to reach high and become a productive and positive member of our community. On behalf of Jack and our entire family across the country, I hope you will join us in our desire to help as many young people as possible and to have the same opportunity and to be part of this very special program. Sorry, I've screwed up already. So thank you for all for being here and learning about Jack's story. Again, we're very touched and honored to be part of this. I would like to welcome Ashley Lynn and Serendipity Lang to the stage to accept their awards. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah, thank you. This is, I'm at a loss for words, but
it's really an honor to kind of be standing here right now and to be receiving this award because I think, you know, Jack's TYE story is something that so many students share. I think TYE played such an important role in just helping me like see how big the world is and just having a sense of agency and just feeling like I can actually build things that made the world better. And it was just really incredible to kind of see that kind of just shine out from the video. And yeah, it's really an honor to be able to kind of help pass his legacy forward.
So unfortunately, Serendipity could not be here tonight. She was actually here a little bit earlier, if anybody had a chance to meet her, but she wanted to thank Jack's family so much, and she wanted me to mention that that's the life of an entrepreneur. I just have so much to do, and she was on her way to a drama production, so. Congratulations, Ashley and Sarah. You're in the embodiments of Jack's entrepreneurial spirit, and we're so proud of you. So as you also learned in the video, the TiE Oregon Foundation and Jack's family have teamed up to create the Jack O'Halloran TYE Fund. This supports deserving students eager to go through the TiE Young Entrepreneurs Program. Now, each of you is given a donation card, a bright green donation card at your table to help fill the fund for students with the entrepreneurial spirit like Jack. Here to help me this evening with the fundraising effort is Shashi Jan, TiE Global Education Director and TYE instructor. Shashi.
Well, hello, everyone, and good evening. My name is Shashi Jan. I'm TYE Global Education Director, and what that means is I work with the TYE curriculum, and I'm an instructor here in TYE Oregon. It's been an absolute pleasure and privilege to be part of all these students' journeys. And we're standing here because, I have the honor now to be here with Jack's family as we inaugurate this Jack O'Halloran Young Entrepreneur Award. So it's one thing that has really struck me about all of this is that it reminded me of, remembrance and remembering people. And in my own family, one of the things that we do is we take on a characteristic of the person that's no longer with us. And here is an opportunity for us to do the same, to help students take on entrepreneurship, which was so central to Jack. And my part in this is to help you help those students. During the next part of the night, we'll be asking for donations, and it's my job to really help you understand the impact. Unfortunately, we don't have those cool paddles that you normally get at galas and whatnot here, but we do have these wonderful donation forms. They're bright green, can't miss them. So I'm going to ask you to hear me and listen to what just a little bit of funding can do to help a program like TYE. So think about $100. I spent $100 in coffee. Well, before the pandemic, I spent $100 in coffee per week, actually. But $100 provides a Chromebook to a student. And a Chromebook is, for someone who doesn't have it, is a portal to all these amazing resources online, to mentorship, to tools that they otherwise didn't have to multiply their ideas and their impact. $250 is an amount that will sponsor one student in the community program for TYE, and that covers mentoring, supplies, and there's a lot of supplies, art supplies and things like that. And all of the things that we need to provide them this entrepreneurial education. $500 is an amount that can support 2 students, of course, but also the materials needed to help a team turn their ideas into a rapid prototype, bring that thing to life. And I'll tell you, there's nothing like seeing a student who's built something, who's built their idea and given it form. And once they see that they can do that, it's such a powerful thing. That's $500. $1,000. That's enough to send 1 student to the TiE global competition. And when you send a student to a competition where they're competing against hundreds of their peers, something changes in them. I've had the privilege of seeing this 6, 7 times now, and you can see it on their faces when they go and they see that their idea not only was something that people wanted, but they could actually go and win competitions, and that other people would validate that from other parts of the world. And this is a global competition. 30 chapters run TiE, 2,000 students per year, some in India, some here in the US, some in Australia, one in Canada. It's pretty amazing competition. So that's $1,000 to send 1 student to a competition. For us to add a classroom here in Oregon, it's a roughly $12,000 cost for us to find a teacher, hire a teacher, and get everything set up. So think about that. In relatively small amount of money, we can reach so many students. Out of those 2,000 students, about 200 of them are here in Oregon, spread across 14 classrooms. And it's such a pleasure, it's such an amazing pleasure to be able to say that. And out of those 14 classrooms, 13 of them are in underprivileged schools. And then the rest is in the community program. Our goal for tonight is to raise $15,000. And that would allow us not only to serve the students in our existing classrooms, but also to expand into another classroom, which I would love to call the Jack O'Halloran TiE classroom, if I can get permission from parents. So for those of you who are watching online or at home, please use the Donate Now button under the Jack O'Halloran Young Entrepreneur Award TiE Fund on the main screen. For those of you who are here with us tonight, please take out your donation cards and get ready. I do believe we will have some, okay. So we are going slightly out of order here. We're not going to have any additional remarks. What we are going to do is get right into donations. So let me tell you a little bit about how these will work. We're going to, out of those levels that I spoke to you about, we're going to go through each one, just like we would in a paddle raise. I'll explain the impact, and I'll ask you to fill out a card. So fill out, the card is real easy. It's just a few fields. It commits you to, it's a signal that you will donate a certain amount. And then we will have some runners come by and pick up the cards. And you know, when we run out at one level, we'll go to the very next level, and the volunteers will come around and collect them again. And hopefully, you know, you won't have to see me that too terribly long, and it's a real simple process. So, is everyone ready? All right, let's get started. So I would like to start at the $2,500 level. I call this the program level because here you can have an outsized impact. $2,500. $2,500 is 1/6 of the way to, or 1/5 of the way for us to get to a classroom. You could be 20% of this, of a new classroom for TiE. $2,500 also covers the cost of 10 students to join the TiE program. So either way, you're having an outsized impact. If we get just 5 of these donations, we can open a new classroom. And I'm thrilled to say that we have one right now. So big props to charter member Doug DeWeese, who's already donated at $2,500. Thank you, Doug. Where are you? You would raise your hand if you're in the room. Okay, great. Is there anyone out there who'd like to commit to $2,500? Nathan, amazing. Thank you. Amazing. Thank you. 3. We got 3. Amazing. Thank you so much. Just hold them high, and we have a volunteer come by and get them, if you would.
Hold them up high. So we have 4 donations of $2,500, which is so amazing. We're almost there to that new classroom. Anyone else? I will say that that it may seem like a lot, but again, $2,500. Thank you, sir. Hold it up high, please. Yes. And that is one new classroom for TiE. Please give everyone a round of applause too. That's amazing. $2,500. All right. Anyone else? This is the time to be generous here. All right. Thank you so much for your generosity, everyone, all of our donors at the $2,500 program level. A huge thanks. We're going to move on to the $1,000 donation level. This is one I call our skills or competition level. So again, this level you can support 5 new students in the TiE program, or you can help students build a new skill. So many students that come to us have a skills gap, some basic skills that they're missing. Those are things that we can teach. Sometimes they need to learn a new subject matter, sewing, for example, or rapid prototyping, 3D modeling. These are life skills that will serve them regardless of if they start their own business. But we use these funds to help them get those skills. $1,000 also sends a student to the global pitch competition. You could change the life of a student by showing them that they are competitive at a global level. So help us get started at this level. Jack's family has decided to donate the first $1,000. Thank you. Thank you, Teresa and Chris. Who else will join them in changing a life? Another 1,000, amazing. Thank you. Anyone else? Let me tell you a little bit about what it means to go to the global competition. So our students go through 7 months of leadership, entrepreneurship, education, and innovation curriculum. And what they do is they pitch their ideas to each other, they form teams, they go off and build their startup, and then they compete against each other. So we have, 30 different teams that are competing just here in Portland. And to get to the top of that, then we send the team that wins that competition, our local competition, to global competition. So by the time that the students have gotten there, they have pitched at least 5 times, and almost all of them have gone through TiE Angels as well, and pitched to Ben and Hope. So these are students who have really invested in themselves. And like Commissioner Jayapal said, this is your chance to help these students to invest in this program so the students can invest in themselves. So I'm asking you, who will invest $1,000 into our program? Amazing. Thank you. Hold them high, please. They'll come in 9. Krishna will come get them. By the way, these 2 students, Krishna and Nicole, are actually part of our student leadership program. So big props to them. I don't think they've gotten recognized yet. $1,000. Anyone else? All right. Thank you for those who've donated at the $1,000 level. We're going to move on to the $500 level. This is a level that will help us purchase prototyping supplies for our students. And I ain't gonna lie, this is my favorite level and the favorite one to talk about. These students are so creative, like you can't even imagine. When they talk about their ideas, they don't talk about things that they can do today. They talk about building things that adults would say that they can do, or what they could do if they were unlimited. So what you're seeing here are examples of what they start with. So if they're building, if their ideas around apparel, they build the apparel. They take it to competition. They take it to shows. We actually have had, and Trish is here somewhere. Trish is the teacher who teaches them how to make apparel. Trish, awesome, amazing Trish. Trish has taught these students how to make leather out of mushrooms and build new products out of that. We have helped students build precision agriculture drones. We've had students pitch to us advanced body armor made out of graphene. Well, how do you do that? Well, you're not going to build graphene out of $500. I'll tell you that to begin with. But what they're building are prototypes that help them have a conversation with a customer. And that conversation is the teaching, is the learning. You will find that students will come out of the program having no inhibitions about talking to customers, finding the customers, and then having a conversation with them. So $500 is the way that it connects to that is it helps them build prototypes that have these deep conversations with customers. So I've spoken enough. Who here will put in $500 towards helping us with rapid prototyping? Got one, got two, three, four, five. Amazing. Thank you so much. Hold them high. Nicole, Krishna, please come around. Thank you so much. And you know, the kind of prototypes that we see with these students is really unlimited. We, you know, they'll really push the bounds as well. There's one year I remember a student team had come up with this Ayurvedic Band-Aid that had a brilliant little idea that you take Ayurvedic medicines related to turmeric, and they were making bandages out of this, and they were naturally antibacterial, and they were insanely inexpensive to produce. And so, you know, they actually built these things. They took a box of Band-Aids and made these things, and they handed them out to people who would, you know, who they saw visibly had cuts. So it's the kind of things that these students do as entrepreneurs is pretty astounding. The things that they learned from that, they came back and they really did amazing things. So $500. Thank you so much for everyone who's done that. I'm going to go for one more round. Anyone want to put in the $500? Again, this is rapid prototyping is one of my favorite parts of the program, and it helps us elevate what the students are able to do. All right, $500. Thanks everyone for who contributed to this level. All right. You know what? There's one thing that I did not say, and that this is the most important thing. So to help us get started at 500, the first 500 that went in was from Thomas and Patricia Inglis, who are Jack's grandparents. So I'm sorry for missing that. And to help us get started at the $250 level, I'm going to thank Tom O'Halloran, who is Jack's brother. He's putting in the first 250 with Mackenzie Johnson. Again, $250 is enough to support one student on their entrepreneurial journey. Who will help a student on their way? $250. Wonderful. Thank you. And thank you. So many students. Hold them high, please. We have a few students who will come around and help for you. I mean, amazing. You know, if I'm counting this is like 12 new students. This is that's like math is hard right now. You have 200 students, it should be easy. That's you know, 6% bump in students. Can we bump that up to 20 new students? I would love to have 20 new students in the fall. We have a new classroom, right? So let's get another 8 students there, please. Is anyone willing to put in 250? Amazing. Thank you. $250 to change a life. That's the best bargain in the world. Is anyone else willing to change a life? Well, it's amazing to have your support here. So $250. Thanks. Give everyone an applause for that. Round of applause for that. All right. So our final level is $100. So a $100 donation is, again, enough to support a Chromebook, which is a critical resource for our students to get online and make use of their resources. Each one of our students here, they benefit from the mentorship of our program, from the materials that we can get for them, even for little things like matching t-shirts. When you go and you present a global competition, you have matching t-shirts. It's just that extra little level, next level thing. So $100 will go towards supporting the overall program and the needs that are within. So you know what? I'm going to do the first $100 in. All right. Please, who will join me? $100, amazing. We've got $100 all around the room. Wonderful. It occurs to me, I haven't really been telling you the stories of these students on the slides. So this student was, I believe, at not Rosemary Anderson, but Benson High School. Created a jacket or a backpack that would pop open and protect you from the rain. Which I thought was really cool because I could totally use something like that, especially if it fit under, if you had something that fit under a jacket like this. Team up in the upper right was a team we sent to globals. This one built a melanoma detector in an iPhone app. It's amazing stuff, and it was super accurate. They had access to private data that no one else had, and this team was super, super sharp. And then we have other teams that just are able to take that idea that's inside of their head, something that they've observed even just around their high school, and solve that problem. So $100 can help a student realize that they are the solution, that it's possible for them to build something that someone else wants, and that they can deliver it. Who's going to help me help those students? Who's going to help me invest in the program that it helps the students invest in themselves? We've got just a little bit more time to get donations. Love to see a few more $100 donations. Raise them high. Oh, 9, Krishna, come and get mine too. So they're coming up here, both of them. If you're going to do a donation, they're up and about. Please do give them something to pick up. Amazing. All right. I want to really thank you. This was well beyond my expectations. So give yourselves a round of applause. All right. Nitin, I think it's back to you, sir.
Thank you, Shashi. And thank you, everybody, for your generous donation. It's going to go a long way to support this program. This was really the most touching part of our program today, and I'm really honored to have known Jack. He used to actually, the handyman part of I actually experienced it, and he was superb. He could climb roofs, clean the roofs, clean the gutters. I mean, this kid was phenomenal, and I really miss him. And thank you, Teresa and Chris and your family for your generous support and your vision of what this award should be. And it's going to live forever. So now we're going to get to our next round of recognitions, which goes to two outstanding entrepreneurs that I had the pleasure to mentor and invest in, who have demonstrated extraordinary entrepreneurship by creating breakout companies and achieved success with outstanding results that included return on investment. And that's a really key criteria for us to recognize entrepreneurs, because at the end of the day, they got to provide return on investment for themselves. It's about wealth creation, and to their investors. To help us with this award, it's just my joy and pleasure to welcome Nat Parker, who actually received this award in 2019 as Founder of the Year. He is giving back both as an investor and a charter member and mentor. So Nat, come to the stage. Hey. By the way, I forgot to mention, but Nat founded this very successful company called Globe Sherpa that really put mobile ticketing on the map in this country and had a very successful exit.
Thank you. That's such old news, and we won't bore you with any of that tonight. And before we recognize our two incredible CEOs and entrepreneurs, I wanted to go off script for just a minute, and Carrie, I'm sorry, but I have to do this. For those of you who did not walk away tonight with a giant life-size check, I want to speak to you personally. In 2011, Globe Sherpa was nominated to speak at Angel, Oregon, which was a great conference, talk about our startup, win a check, and be on stage. I was so excited. I was up the night before at FedEx Kinko's, printing out my handouts for investors, getting ready, setting up our little booth. And much to my chagrin, a company called Open Sesame, which is still in operation and a fantastic business, won the prize. We went into Angel, Oregon, and we were handing out our little iPhone-sized sort of handouts about mobile ticketing, and there was Open Sesame handing out hoodie sweatshirts. I couldn't believe it. I was told, and they weren't just cheap hoodie sweatshirts. They were really nice. I think they had bamboo, and we hated Open Sesame. In fact, after that day and losing and not walking away with a check or any money, we used to refer to Open Sesame as the Cobra Kai. So if any of you have seen, Karate Kid, we were the Karate Kid, they were the Cobra Kai. And I just want you to know that Loopy Laundry, those guys are bad. They are the Cobra Kai for all of you. And I want you to hold on to your resentment and your mirth and channel it and use it, because it will come back and pay back in spades, I promise you. Now, enough of a walk down the past. I will say the two entrepreneurs that we featured tonight are incredible leaders. They're people that I've met personally who pitched their business and who have shown an enormous regard, not just for their teams, their customers, but for the entrepreneurial community here in Oregon, which I think is the hallmark of TiE. So first, it is absolutely my pleasure to introduce Ali Magyar, who is the CEO and founder of Hub. She is the first winner of Founder of the Year, Oregon 2021. We have a little video. We'd like to introduce you to Ali, but if you know her, you don't need a video. She's larger than life, but take a look for those of you who don't know.
Allie's always been driven from the time she was born, and she's always set goals for herself. It's what drives her, is just, meeting her goals. She sets, a path for herself and she follows it and is successful.
And she has as much fun as she possibly can doing it.
That's true.
That's what really drives her, I think, is
That's
parties
true.
and fun.
Yeah, that's true. Good point.
Three words that come to mind when I think of Ali are exuberance, perseverance, and humility.
Ali is all heart. She's confident. She's a visionary.
She knew exactly where she wanted to be with this business because she's from the business and just really, truly understood the problem that she was trying to solve.
Allie's first entrepreneurial endeavor was in her late teens. She and all of her friends were into cars and import cars. And she put on her first import auto show at the Clark County Fairgrounds. And that is really what got her into, what she does now, the event space and such.
I don't feel like Allie has been like a techie at heart, but she's one of those people who she can just adapt and learn whatever she sets her mind to. And technology in events was needed, and she recognized that, and so she pursued it, and she became a woman in tech, and she blew it out of the water, and she did it unlike anybody else.
As with most entrepreneurs that I've invested in, within 5-10 minutes of her presentation, it was quite obvious that we were going to write her a check. There was not a doubt in my mind that we would not want to invest in her. And we became one of her early institutional investors as a result of it.
She's really good at just understanding what drives people and is able to play to that and create a team spirit like you might find on a sports team, but it's a software company. And for us, that's a really unique skill set.
We say also that there is no such thing as work-life balance. There's just this one life, and you happen to be living some of it while you're working. And that's kind of how it worked.
Most people see Allie as a successful business person, works long hours, but we see her as a mom and a hostess in her home. She's a wonderful mother, loving, and she gives her time and effort. You would think there's 10 of her thinking about business-wise and then knowing what she does at home.
Yes.
Well, as you know, in the spring of 2020, Allie and Hub's market pretty much disappeared overnight. Conferences, trade shows, large corporate events were canceled en masse. And Allie and Hub had to pivot immediately and figured out how to adapt and serve her customers in a slightly different way.
It was pretty heavy for her, but she had learned along the way different ways to cope. And one of the biggest, I think, for her was when she did her last car show, it was a disaster. And she thought the world had ended. But within just a few months, she'd gotten a job at Dynamic Events up in Seattle.
And from that point, about a year later, she ended up buying the company.
To her credit, the company may have had around 5 million in revenue when the pandemic hit. And I think she's grown that about 4x during the pandemic, which is just remarkable. And I think that, she does terrific, and the firm does terrific corporate events and virtual events now. I think she should do one on how to pivot and grow during a pandemic.
Well, Allie just sold her company to Notified and is now Chief Product Officer of this company. And I think she's going to take this company to a whole new level. And I am totally confident that this company is going to succeed because of Allie.
Moving towards the future, that team, I think, will be looking to Allie quite a bit because she has a ton of event experience. And in that industry, she is a leader. And to now have her technical ability expanded by this larger group, it feels like, we're a little unstoppable, and really looking forward to this. It's going to be fun.
Allie, on behalf of the TiE board, I want to congratulate you for winning the Founder of the Year award. You totally deserve it. And we look forward to following you on your continued journey of success as an entrepreneur, but more importantly, your quest to give back.
Congratulations, Allie. All of your many fans and friends at the Oregon Venture Fund are super proud of what you've accomplished. We admire and appreciate all you've done with Hub, and we look forward to much more success and collaboration with you in the future. Congratulations.
Founder of the Year, you're founder of the decade, founder of the lifetime, in my opinion. What you have done with Hub and with the team and with all of the product, it's pretty amazing. But then again, so are you.
in your heart, it's all about the people in your life that you love. And we're so grateful to have you as a daughter. Proud of you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what brings me joy is knowing that you're doing what you love and what makes you happy and what makes other people so happy. And a mom couldn't ask for more.
Congratulations, Allie. We love you.
Please help me welcome Allie Magyar to the stage, 2021 Founder of the Year.
Well, I wasn't prepared to give a speech after crying at a video, so thank you so much. I think tonight just is so energizing for me to see all of the entrepreneurship in the room and the support, to hear Jack's story, and to think about how the impacts that we have the opportunity to make in this world. And it also reminds me, similar to Nat's story, of pitching to TiE for the very first time. And I remember sitting outside that room, terrified. My fists were clenched, my stomach is in knots. And I thought, they're gonna ask me a question that I don't know how to answer. Or they might tell me that my business isn't sustainable in the long term and not worthy of investment. And now, almost 25 years later of being an entrepreneur, I can actually say that I never know all the answers to the questions that are coming. And that the only thing I know as an entrepreneur is that I have to adapt to change, just like we've seen over the last couple of years, because that serves us in every situation in life. And it's why I'm so grateful for organizations like TiE, because the purpose of it is to support the entrepreneur, to support opportunity, to support the art of the possible. And that's why, although this is named as a Founders Award, one of my favorite sayings that I still use daily is teamwork makes the dream work. And there isn't a single founder ever that would be able to achieve what they were looking to achieve without the team and without the community that made it possible. And so with that, I have a couple of thank yous, starting with a strong foundation, similar to what TiE provides to these young entrepreneurs. But for me, that showed up with my family. To my mom when I was very little, who worked multiple jobs and then worked tirelessly in our home to give me the feeling of empowerment that I could go and tackle anything. It's my dad, who an entrepreneur himself his entire career, who taught me that your word is who you are. There's no contract needed. And that ethics and morals should guide every decision that we make in business. And to my kiddos who didn't have a choice of a mom working really long hours and trying to find that balance, that whole life perspective. And the team component of this, I have my founding team here with me tonight, and that is so incredibly meaningful because we've been through the thick and the thin together. I didn't even know what I was hiring for when I first posted a job, and I didn't know where to post a job, so I posted it on Craigslist. And I am so fortunate that I ended up meeting Josh, who was my right hand throughout the entire process and helped me to actually have fun at work and to think about what it meant to experience culture. And we were joined by Rainey, who has this unique ability to tell a story and to encourage me to have a voice as a female entrepreneur. And then we were blessed to have Nancy, who you saw in the video, who is all about people, who taught me about living an authentic life and how together we can go through the really horrible moments and the incredible moments. And I'm so grateful that they've chosen to share this journey and to be on this with me together. And so tonight, as a piece of this award, I accept the award, but I accept it on behalf of our entire community, on the energy that we provide to entrepreneurs, to our ability to be able to make the impossible possible, And I'll just leave with the word that we all can take into our lives of teamwork makes the dream work. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Ali. Now, it is also my great pleasure, because this year we have an incredible crop of entrepreneurs, to introduce and congratulate Ganesh Shankar, co-founder of RFPIO. Now, before you clap, I just have to tell you one thing. Back in the early days of TiE, Nitin looked at me and looked at other people in the government business and said, guys, B2G is tough, long sales cycles, tough barriers to entry, but we'll write you a check. Ganesh has taken that trust and that opportunity to unbelievable heights. I'm so proud of what RFPIO has done, and I'm honored to announce that Ganesh is also the 2021 TiE Oregon Founder of the Year. Let's get a better insight into what he has done through this video.
I met Ganesh 6 years ago at a TiE pitch competition. Ganesh made the pitch about his company RFPIO to me. And within 5 minutes, I knew that I was going to invest in the company. And what really struck me about him was his energy, his standard being, his passion for his business.
What I found with Ganesh was his ability to be absolutely crystal clear and convincing with his pitch. He was solving a serious problem in a very effective way. And even the untrained eye was able to pick up that this is a gentleman who really knew what he was doing, and he convinced me he had every ability to get it done.
When Ganesh and I first met, it was at a cheesy little coffee shop in Beaverton, and it was just Ganesh and his laptop and me trying to help him out. And I was coming fresh out of Tripwire after retiring, and I said to myself, and I said to Ganesh, if I was still vice president of sales at Tripwire, I'd buy this thing in a New York second.
3 words to describe Ganesh probably is, get it done, get the deal done. Get on a call with the customer, prospect, explain all that demo. If you have to identify, those are things predominantly comes from Ganesh.
He has heart. He has finesse. He has moxie. And it's all kind of wrapped in just a little bit, just enough style that brings it all together.
One of the things that I saw in him was an earnestness and a focus and sort of an intellectual honesty about himself, which I found very refreshing, because I've seen, I've met other entrepreneurs both before that and since, and entrepreneurs are always trying to, make themselves up to be something bigger and more than they are. What I saw in him was just a laser focus on building a significant business. I mean, he really, all along, his goal was not just to get to the next year, but to build a really significant business.
Yeah, apparently Ganesh doesn't need sleep. He's not a leader that flies the desk. He's right in there. I mean, he's a worker.
Ganesh has inspired me with his tenacity and his persistence. Those are key qualities of entrepreneurs, successful entrepreneurs, is they're just headbang and just keep going at it. And he has just done this with just great strength, and he just keeps delivering. He keeps giving.
He really understands the RFP space inside and out, and he has a clear ability to see what needs to be done and how it can be achieved. And that's what he's proven with RFPIO.
The imprint that he's had from the early days still shows. And I think that is one of the real driving forces behind the company. So to do that and to have a high growth company and a great place to work and a CEO who's right there in the trenches doing things with his people, I think this is, this story has a long way to go.
I think RFPIO is going to do some great things, and Ganesh is just a rising star. He's a rising CEO. He has shown that he can scale, he can build a great business. He's committed. He continues to be his passionate self. Ganesh is going to be a star CEO and founder, and we're known for what he has built alongside his co-founders with RFPIO.
Congratulations, Ganesh, on receiving Founder of the Year Award from TiE. This is an incredible honor that is more than deserved by yourself.
Ganesh, congratulations on being selected the TiE Oregon Founder of the Year. Very well deserved, and we're looking for bigger and better things in the future.
Congratulations, Ganesh, and receiving this award. Certainly well deserved. I can't ask I can't wish for anyone better than you, and as a co-founder receiving this.
I am so proud of you. The whole team is proud of you. But while you're not a prideful man, take a little time to be proud of yourself. Just this one time, because you deserve it. Nobody deserves it more than you do.
I want to congratulate you, Ganesh, for winning the Founder of the Year Award. We're super proud of you. The board of TiE was super excited to choose you as this year's winner. And we wish you all the success in the future. I'm sure you're going to go and do even bigger and better things beyond RFPIO.
Please join me in welcoming Ganesh Shankar to the stage.
All right, I'm certainly not prepared for a speech. And Ali did a fantastic job. Before that, I think she set a high bar I wasn't prepared for. So I'll do my best. I'm really proud to be here. I'm very thankful for the entire community. Otherwise, I would not be here. Again, I was very inspired by Jack. I was somewhat like that to an extent. I could see what Jack would have done if he's there today, or going. It's exactly what I did. Not here, back in India. I was trying to do so many things all along throughout my lifetime. I've done something or the other, starting from selling gooseberries to selling, automobile engine oils to so many different things. And I always wanted to do something, as a business. But, I did not have the financial background nor any support. My mom and dad were, a middle class. You understand the middle class in India. All they did is they sacrificed their entire life for my studies. The one thing I can take away from the entire journey is the most important thing any human being can do is education. I think that's what my mom and dad gave me. And after that, I fell in love with my now wife, my wife Sabita, and she changed my career to an extent. When I started bouncing off some ideas, any normal wife, I don't know if you've known Indian culture, any normal wife, would not go to that extent. To be honest, when I started RFPIO, we had our second baby, and I had literally about $1,500 in my bank account. I was living in an apartment, and my wife was not working. And I asked her if she can go back to India for 6 months while I figure it out what is happening around in this startup. And she did, and she supported me. And today we are, and again, my two co-founders who came along the journey. And every part of my life, I think I've been supported by some or the other. So I have a very high trust and faith in the humanity and people's attitude. I think there is going to be goods and bads. I always see, as a businessman, I do see, 80% good and 20% bad, and I take the 80% profit more than the 20% loss. So I always see things as good. And to be honest, I want to thank a few people in this room who invested in RFPIO. I know I wish you continued, but most importantly, when Nitin and the team invested in a company, investing in companies is not that difficult when you get exit out of it. Most of you were asking me today on this event if we exited. No, we did not exit the business. We are still continuing to grow. We are about 350 employees, and I think we are going to grow even bigger. The reason why I say it is not as important as when you're exiting, I'm very thankful for TiE, the other investor, especially Steve Marsh, who invested in our business. When the new investors came in 2018, I requested TiE and Steve if they would be open to exit, because the business was growing fantastically good. I'm not bragging, but this was the truth. No investor would go out knowing that business is doing good. They know they've invested only in business for 15 months. They know they can go for long. But I requested Nitin to say, because I wasn't ready to give up the company. Essentially, it was like when we brought in a new investor, I have to give up, already gave TiE and Elevate some portion of the company. And then the new investors coming in, I have to give more portion of the company, which I wasn't ready because it was about 3 years into the business. I think that shows the spirit of Nitin and TiE investors and Elevate. They said, okay, we will continue to support you by exiting our investment in RFPIO. As a normal investor, they could have stuck and said, no, we are not going to exit. We want to continue. You do whatever you want. It is your headache and you do. They could have done that very easily, but they did not do it. I'm very thankful for what they did. And they said, totally fine. We are out. We want to see you grow. We want to have you. We want you to have the company to grow. And that help, I don't think I will ever going to, be, unthankful of. Again, thank you so much for this award. Thank you is a small word in this context. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Let's give one last big round of applause for Ganesh and for Ali, our 2021 Oregon Founders of the Year. Congrats.
Wow. Just brought back a lot of memories from 5 years ago. Actually, both Ali and Ganesh were part of the same cohort. There were 6 companies in that cohort. I think 4 of them are still around and doing really well. So I'm super proud of these entrepreneurs. So thank you, Nat. Congratulations, Ali and Ganesh. So now to our final award of the evening. Now this award is a rare award. We don't give it out every year. And we only give it out to the most deserving and truly deserving person. So past recipients of the Angel of the Year award have been Shashi Jain in 2015 for his phenomenal work that he did with getting the youth program up and running and really doing some great work in 2015. And then to Diane Freeman in 2017. And this year, we are super honored to present this award to a very quiet, but yet super inspiring and an invaluable member of the entrepreneur community here in Portland. He represents the values and mission of giving back at the highest level. And that is both as a very successful entrepreneur and also as an investor and supporter of the next generation of entrepreneurs. Steve Marsh, founder of Smarsh and former CEO of Smarsh and founder of Archivist Capital, is that amazing person. And so let's learn a bit about Steve. Please roll the film. The Angel of the Year award is a very special award because we don't give it out every year. We only give it to people who are special, who really embody the mission of TiE of give back and mentoring. And the TiE board felt really strongly that Steve deserved this award because of all the great work he's done in Portland in supporting the entrepreneur ecosystem and the the amount of investments that he has made. He is a super angel, and I don't think a lot of people in this town really know that.
You know, Steve's a classic transplant. He grew up in Rochester, New York. He walks fast, he talks fast, he thinks fast. In our Smart years, we really preached this notion of radical candor, speaking your mind, telling it as it is. And you could spend hours talking to him through the various options, finding the weak points, figuring out the opportunities.
I met Steve Marsh back in 2006 when I joined the company Smarsh, when there was only like 12 or 13 employees. So you fast forward a decade or so, and we landed lots of big deals at Smarsh. The company kind of blew up and did fantastic. And I had got an MBA and was looking to do something on my own and start a brewery with some neighbor. And Steve at the time liked, you know, dark stout beers. I think that's his favorite. And I gave him some tastes of my neighbor's home brews, and he was interested in kind of helping us get off the ground by investing a little bit of money.
Steve, I would say from the very first moment, did have time for me, and always, all of my conversations with Steve are high impact, I would say. Steve was like in and committed from the first moment, and I really respected that. His ability to just digest information and form an opinion, and then he has a bias toward action, like just making something happen.
Steve just has this poise and style of being really quiet and quietly doing things. And, you know, he doesn't seek a lot of media attention for his work, but the work he's done is unbelievable and amazing.
You know, after we left Smarsh, it's been wonderful to watch Steve relaunch himself, to build Archivist and build community in this amazing, wonderful city. Portland needs people like Steve, and it has been amazing to see the connection and the relationships he's built over the last 5 years.
I've always seen Steve maintain a pretty low profile for his stature. I'm kind of surprised because you will not know when you talk to him, but when you talk to others who he had impacted, be it their employees or be it as a customer for us, as an investor for us, I think he intentionally maintains a low profile given his impact that he's making already in the society and other tech community.
When I first started looking to raise money for my company, I asked the local people that I knew, who should I try to work with? Who would really be a good person for me to figure out how to grow and scale a company? And Steve's name kept coming up time and time again. And I think it was not only because he's brilliant at business, but also because of the care and the approach that he takes when he mentors young entrepreneurs or when he sees a business opportunity in someone that has a lot of passion. And I could tell from the first interaction that we had why those people had recommended for Steve to be a part of this, because I just felt that instant connection.
What I'm most grateful for is the example that he sets, how hard he works, how kind he is to others, how he treats people, how he parents. He's made me a better colleague, a better leader, a better friend, a better dad, and I'm just immensely grateful for his influence.
You know, what you look for in a mentor is someone that you want to embody, somebody that you see how the personality traits or the way they think about things that you would like to do yourself. And a lot of that is just modeling it, not necessarily telling you what to do. And Steve does that in a really excellent way.
He's all about the community. And when I think about the magic that is Portland, it is because of people like Steve that invest in our ecosystem, invest in the entrepreneurs, and care so much more than just about success. They care about the community success and the people behind it.
Steve, on behalf of the TiE board, I want to congratulate you for winning the TiE Angel of the Year Award. We are so proud of you for the great work that you've done in Portland in supporting the entrepreneurs. You're truly a give backer. I consider you a great friend and collaborator in really taking the entrepreneur ecosystem in Portland to a whole new level. Thank you again for all the great work that you do.
Steve, congratulations. We've worked alongside each other for, well over a decade, 15 years, I feel like, or something like that. You're one of the hardest working people I know, and you give great advice. You help bring up young entrepreneurs like myself. And it's been amazing watching you grow, Smarsh from what was, 5-person company or 10-person when I joined back then to what it is now. And you're an awesome angel investor here in Portland. And I love you. I congratulate you. You're amazing. Thank you so much, Steve.
Congratulations, Steve. This is a huge honor and well-deserved. You've been working for a long time for this, and I'm so excited, so glad that you are able to step out and get honored in this way for your participation, not just as an angel, but as an entrepreneur, as a mentor, and as a friend. So congratulations, well-deserved. Go, Steve.
Well deserved. I'm very happy for you. And thanks for all you have done for the community and especially for our field.
Congratulations, Steve.
Steve, congratulations on this award. Not only for your success in business and how you've been able to grow your company, but also for the impact and the heart that you have had on the entrepreneurs and their companies and their success. Congratulations.
So please help me welcome Steve Marsh to the stage.
Thank you to TiE, thank you, Nitin, and thank you to everyone in this room for helping to make Oregon a more business-friendly environment. And I also have to thank all of the co-founders, many of which are in this room, or sorry, all the founders, many of which were in this room, for allowing me to be a part of your businesses. Like, you don't know how speechless that made me, and I'm struggling for words right now, but I think prior to coming up here, I wanted to talk about the struggles I had as a founder and how I was rejected every time I tried to raise money because my business idea was not a good one. Somehow something happened along the way and it magically was successful. But I think I had an opportunity over almost 2 decades to make failure upon failure, and just hoped as I was leaving Smarsh that I could find a way to give back to the community and to give back to other entrepreneurs who were starting on the beginning of their journeys. And creating Archivist Capital was my way to do that. And I thought maybe I could fill a void in the investment side of things, where I'd seen a lot of companies raise seed capital, but maybe struggled to get to that next level. And I felt like, having been through my experiences at Smarsh, maybe I could help somebody get to that next level of investment. Maybe I could introduce them to somebody else in my network to get them, maybe some growth equity, or get them to a potential acquirer. And that's what I set out to do. And I think what I've learned myself over the last several years is that, the real reward is not in the financial success of the companies. For me, it is being able to work with so many passionate founders who have such interesting businesses and new challenges every single day. And nothing thrills me more than when I get the phone call from one of them that, they're struggling with some big problem or challenge or dilemma in their business, and they need help. Never really thought of myself as a mentor, and that was never the goal, but that's truly the reward, being able to help someone by leveraging the experiences I've had, and maybe making their company a little bit better, or maybe getting them to the right answer a little bit quicker. It's a really satisfying feeling. And I'm lucky enough to get to work with incredible founders with incredible businesses, people who are passionate about what they do. So thank you to all of you. There are many people in this room who've let me have that opportunity, and I'm truly grateful for it. And I also just want to say thank you to all the other members of the business community here who help along the way with all these companies. You know, what I do is often very, very small piece of trying to help make these companies successful. I know that there are networks of lawyers, accountants, advisors, appraisers. I mean, there's a huge community here in Oregon that helps businesses try to be successful. And I think that is exactly what we need to help make this a more business-friendly climate. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. I'm really honored to have gotten an award, but more than anything, I just love working with the companies that I do. So thank you.
Thank you, Steve. So folks, what a great night of celebration. Huge thank you to all the sponsors that you've seen on the screen, with a special call out to Brand Live, Elevate Capital, Newmark, Great Notion, Moss Adams, and Tonkin Torp. Thank you to everybody who's here in the room as well, and all those of you who are watching this event live via Brand Live. If you're a charter member or award winner, please head to the stage, as we're going to take a series of group pictures to memorialize this evening. So thank you again, folks. We look forward to seeing you at a future TiE event. Drive carefully and have a great night. Thank you.
Thinking about your hands on my body, denying all the bruises that left on me. Would it make a difference if I took the blame? Should I have been the one to say sorry? My friends call me naive and dumb, but I think the look can make a fool of anyone. I learned my lesson more than once, so tell me why. On you, so I'm drunk enough to text you. I won't know why I get by, even let you need to sober up, sober. Lock me up in rehab, lock me up in rehab. I get on you, so I'm drunk enough to text you. I won't get by, even let you need to sober up, sober. Lock me up in rehab, lock me up in rehab. You're my sin and you're my only salvation. You're the highway, baby, you're the vacation. I know you wanna make a difference if I took the blame. You never were the one to say sorry. My friends call me naive and dumb, but I think the look can make a fool of anyone. I learned my lesson more than once, so tell me why. On you, so I'm drunk enough to text you. I won't know why I get by, even let you need to sober up, sober. Lock me up in rehab, lock me up in rehab. I get on you, so I'm drunk enough to text you. I won't know get by, even let you need to sober up, sober. Lock me up in rehab, lock me up in rehab. friends call me naive and dumb, but I think the love can make a fool of anyone. I never lives more than once. So, I get drunk on you. I'm drunk enough to text you. I forget why I get by, even if you need to sober up, sober. Lock me up in rehab, lock me up in rehab. I get drunk. I'm drunk enough to text you. I forget get by, even if you need to sober up, sober. Lock me up in rehab, lock me up in rehab.
You told me that we should go our separate